Mother isn't tucking her child in. She's tying him to the bed, wrists, ankles, tight enough that if he moves, the bed moves with him. Because she fears what happens inside the house when the child is breathing and still not there. This is the Vârcolac, not under a full moon, in a farmhouse bed, while you sleep. What do you do when morning comes and your child's eyes open, but he doesn't return? November 12th, 1890. A farmhouse outside Vâlcea. The sky is turning red. Paraskiva doesn't step outside to look. She keeps her hand on her son's chest, counting breaths like a ritual, because she has seen this pattern before. Father, uncle, now the boy. If he doesn't return by morning, she will keep the body alive anyway. It will swallow soup. It will stand when led. But it will never say her name again. To understand why Paraskiva ties her child down, you go back, not to a curse, not to a bite, but to a birth. Putna, Bukovina, 1874. A midwife delivers a boy. Everything looks normal, until the face appears. A thin white membrane covers the child like a veil. The midwife freezes, not from surprise, from recognition. The mother reaches for her son. The midwife pulls back, peels the membrane away slowly, folds it, wraps it in cloth, and hides it in a roof beam. The mother asks what she's doing. The midwife answers without looking at her. You lose this, you lose him. Years later, the village remembers why. A boy is found at first light standing in the yard, barefoot, feet black with mud, mouth full of straw. No memory of the night. Not sick, not drunk, just blank. The boy from Putna grows up. His name is Toda. By day he's ordinary. Church every Sunday, harvest with the others, a wife, a house. Then comes the barn fire. Toda sleeps through it. His wife shakes him, slaps his face, pours water on him. The roof collapses. The barn burns to the ground. 3 horses die in smoke. Toda doesn't flinch. When he finally wakes, he looks at the ashes and asks why she's crying. He didn't smell the fire. The village gives him a name after that. Cel Gol, the empty one. Villagers didn't need theology. They had cases. And that cloth-wrapped membrane is still in the roof beam. The membrane wasn't the cause. It was the only handle they had on something already inside. Paraskiva's son is still a child when she first sees the heaviness come over him. A drop, like someone turned a switch behind his eyes. His breathing stays steady, his body stays warm, but he stops responding. In Brezoi, a man named Gheorghe felt that heaviness 3 times in his life. He didn't call it illness, he called it a crossing. He told his wife one instruction: don't move me, don't let anyone touch me until morning. Then he lay down, and he went quiet. October 4th, 1884. A total lunar eclipse over Wallachia. Outside, the village goes to war with the moon. Inside, Gheorghe's wife watches his face. His eyes are half closed. She can see the whites. She wants to close them. She doesn't. The moon returns to white. Gheorghe opens his eyes and looks at her like he's returned from a distance he can't explain. He says, "I was so far this time. I almost didn't hear you." That sentence is the proof. In Stroeshti, another wife panicked. Her husband looked dead, cold, pale, slack. She turned him face down, thinking she was helping him breathe. When the eclipse ended, he didn't wake. He kept breathing, but his mouth made no words. His hands forgot how to hold. She fed him by hand for 9 years, soup through his lips, water on his tongue, until he died in 1893. And when they buried him face down. Not out of disrespect, out of procedure. So if he wandered again, he would dig the wrong way. Villages didn't stop at the bed. They watched what happened after. If a person wandered too often in sleep, if he came back less each time, people began to ask the question that turns a bedtime fear into a burial fear. What if the empty body dies and the emptiness doesn't? Mehedinci, 1891. A farmer named Ion finds 2 oxen dead in the field. No blood on the ground, just legs bent wrong, tongues black, as if the animals ran all night without moving. Ion calls the priest. The priest looks at the oxen. Then the priest looks past Ion, toward the doorway. Ion's wife is standing there with bruises on her arms. The bruises match the shape of harness straps. The priest doesn't step into the house. He says, "Check your father's grave." Ion's father died 40 days ago. They buried him with precautions, small things villagers do when they can't afford to be wrong. It didn't matter. They dig up the coffin. Inside, the body has turned on its side. Fingernails scratched grooves into the wood like someone tried to climb out. The shroud is torn at the mouth, chewed, and the face isn't grey, it's red, flushed, fed. No speech follows, no debate. The priest drives an iron nail down hard, pinning whatever is still inside. They take what they must, carry it to a crossroads, and burn it until there is nothing left to argue with. After that, something almost humiliating happens. Ion's wife recovers. The bruises fade. The house becomes quiet again, which leaves the question hanging in the air, heavier than any sermon. If the grave can feed the house, what exactly left the bed first? Go back to Paraskiva. Paraskiva is thinking about wrists, about the way rope leaves small aches in the morning when a child wakes like nothing happened. The boy grows. He becomes a man. In daylight, he's ordinary. That's the point. The Vârcolac doesn't look like a monster. He looks like your neighbor. So the real rituals are quiet, and they survive. Near Argus, a grandmother ties a red string around her grandson's wrist. He is 3 days old. Her daughter asks why. The grandmother says, so he knows where to come back. In the same house, the window is never fully closed, not for air, for the soul, a path back left open on purpose. Because when you can't stop the door inside a human being from opening, you do the next best thing. You control what happens around it. You don't move the sleeper. You don't rush the body. You give the wandering thing a route home. They hide membranes in roof beams. They keep windows cracked. They tie strings, and sometimes it works. In Valtia, Paraskiva's son woke when the sky turned white again. He lived. He married. He had a daughter. But he never asked why his wrists ached in the morning. And his daughter never told him what she knew. Because families don't announce fear. They live around it. So if you want the cleanest way to understand the Vârcolac, forget fur, forget claws. Think of a door inside a human being. A door that can open while the body sleeps. A door that sometimes closes wrong. And the worst part? Some doors only close from the outside. Tonight, if you wake and the room feels heavy, listen for something small. Not a howl, not a scream. A window, cracking open, in the dark.